Hey, what's going on, internet? Josh Noel from SonduckOne. So today we have a 35-2 gameplay on Exodus playing TDM on the Black Ops 3. So I'm using the Razorback with the suppressor and quick draw and the typical perk setup of Ghost, Fast Hands, Engineer, and Blast Suppressor. So it's a pretty good setup, and one thing I like to do is basically rush the side of the maps on, or the side of the map on Exodus. And I'm not a big fan of ever going in the middle of the map, but this map, in this gameplay, I do change that strategy up to play in the middle of the map. But right now, basically, one thing I like to do is to control these sides of the map. More specifically, this side of the map, basically where I'm at now. And I do die coming up right here, and that's because when you go in the middle hallway there, usually you have a good chance of dying quite often, basically, when you pop out of corners and stuff like that, usually the enemy can have the advantage. And so, I learned my lesson to probably not hang out in there. As you see, I was just throwing a stun and, stem text to, just see if I can pick up any enemies in there. And I didn't go that way because I know it's a kind of a bloodbath, and it's really not, a great area to hang out in to get some kills if you want to have a high KDR. But, over here, I'm still trying to flank the map, and I am about to go back into the spot, but this time I only just go in there to take a look, not really to kill anybody, kind of see what's happening in this game, because right now I think this game started off as a 4v4, and that happens quite often in Black Ops 3, but the one thing I always do, and the one thing I always say in all my videos, is that you want to try to learn as much as you can about the game, like what's going on in your current game, and how can you do that to set it to your benefit. But right here now I changed my strategy to hang out more in the middle of the map, because the sides of the map were just nothing too much was happening on the sides of the map, and I realized I could probably get some more kills if I hang out in the middle of the map here. And the one thing I will not do is rush onto their spawn, because I know that would pretty much be a bloodbath, and kind of let them come to me. Now I'm not necessarily doing a conservative camp, but basically just holding down the middle of the map so I don't have to do all the rushing that I was doing to start off the game, and only picking up one kill at a time, and then eventually I don't think it would have been possible to pick up kills. So at this point I just know that holding down this middle of the map, controlling the flow of the game and moving forward here. And I turn on the combat focus here because I know that if I jumped up to the second floor there, the enemies would have their backs to me, so I was able to get the double points and get closer to getting my score streaks. So that's one thing I like about the middle map of this map, is to it's easy to listen and see what's going on, and making your move based on what information that you can get. And I went ahead and flanked them and was able to pick up 2 more kills, which once again just keeping observing the game and being aware of what's going on, and trying to stay in areas that don't require too much attention, which the middle of the map really didn't require too much attention. So I was able to make some good moves and quickly be able to move into position to get a couple of kills because I was in the middle of the map. So but basically, one thing that you got to be able to do is change up your strategy, quite often sometimes. And right now I am going back to the flanks and, being unpredictable, which is very important in this game, especially when you are on a high KDR and you're continuing to kill people. You don't necessarily want to stay in the same spot like I was in the middle of the map. So I went back to the flanks, and plus I'm also right now 25 points away from my wraps, and with my luck, I usually die, either 25 points or 10 points before I get, the wraps, which is always frustrating. But this time I was able to just kind of wait it out and let my Wraith pick up the kill. I probably should have just, hid in a corner. That probably would have been the better choice. But, I'm not a big fan of ever doing that. So, I'll be a man about it and continue to play the objective for my team, which is basically holding down the flanks. And that's what I'm doing right now. And, right now I just got to be able to, I just know the enemies are going to be will be flip-flopping these spawns quite often. So I know that running this flank here back and forth would be able to be useful for me to quickly get back and forth to pick up some kills in the back of the enemy spawns. But pretty much up to this point, I gotta say, might be one of the most boring, double-digit KDR games that I have played, because I don't know, it just seems like there's a lot of running going on in this game. But the one thing, I think the one takeaway from this video, if you want to be able to pull off high, KDRs for, when you play a full game, basically the one thing that I think you could take away from this is my patience in this video. Like, I'm not rushing right where all the enemies are at. Like, I set myself up to where I only have to face, one enemy at a time. There was I think one occasion or two occasions in this video where I had to face two enemies at a time, but that's going to happen. But for the most part, I'm not rushing into the the majority of enemies and trying to pick up a lot of kills, whereas I probably would have a better chance of just dying. So patience is key if you want to have high KDRs, especially in games like this. You have to understand the type of players you're playing against, and kind of figure out what their weaknesses are, and can you pull it off. And I believe I'm about to die right here, and that's because I was not fully aware, because for the most part the other team was kind of rage quitting, and because I obviously had the Wraith and the Wraps, and people don't want to stay during that session. But I was not aware of the new players in the game, and me rushing back and forth was not a good idea. So that's why I was caught off guard, and I died because I was not seeing any enemies on my flank that I kept rushing back and forth on. And I basically died because I was not informed, because I've never seen someone there before, and I was running back and forth, like, just doing whatever, not ready to kill somebody in that house. So I was able to die. I should have just stayed, static, kind of observed the game. It should have been more aware of the new people joining the game. And, at this point, I'm going back to the middle of the map because I know that my team is most dominant over here. And I'm kind of sticking with my team because I'm trying to also, learn how the new players play this game. And the one thing I like to have on me, again, is the Semtex, because it destroys a lot of the enemy's equipment, especially the Hive. And it gives me more points in my score streak, which is always helpful. And I highly suggest, people should use a Semtex. So most of the time, yes, I usually use a Semtex to just destroy equipment, which can be very useful for your score streak. Very rarely I do use it for people, for enemies. But, like I said, right here, middle of the map, holding it down, and, doing what worked for me before, and obviously still working for me with the new players, because my team is doing, what they're doing is, holding down, the top route or the second floor there. And I'm able to quickly watch the flank here, while also giving myself a concussion there. And I'm not going to take that fight on because I know that enemy might have the advantage over me, but I'm going to kind of watch over it while he's sitting in the corner over there. And then I'm going to bravely take him on because I'm not sure, I didn't think he knew what he was doing, and I was definitely correct about that. So, kind of pulled away, learned a little bit about what the enemy was doing, give him some time to get into his position. And then, when I realized that he wasn't doing anything great, I went ahead and made my move and got the kill. But anyway, a 35-2 gameplay, which is, very exciting, I think, even though this gameplay was a little bit slow. But, you know what? We won the game. That's all that matters. And, pulled out with a high KDR. So guys, thank you so much for watching this video. If this video has been helpful or fun to watch, please drop a like. It helps me out tremendously. And if you haven't already, please consider subscribing for more videos like this, where I talk about tips and how to get better at Black Ops 3. So guys, thank you so much for watching, and hopefully I'll see you soon.